part two. Kidding where we left off. Just because it kind of gives us for this is insider talk too. These take a while to both upload and even to download on the computers. So it's a little easier to just kind of stop halfway and do this in parts. So where we left off, we were about to do our world building. Because let's go back to share screen. So what's it called? So one planet war is the main theme. Yeah. So it's sort of like this one planet makes sense. What do you think? I mean, I had an interesting idea for this.
Well, I was thinking about doing like you start expanding to other planets and shit.
Well,
China, the commies take over.
Right. Okay.
So like towards the very end, it becomes like, because then you could start moving in the Korean shit. You know what I mean?
Right. So China is one planet. Japan is one planet. Well, so that's another part of the story you gave. So just to finish your ideas off, where does the show go after Japan's Japan's defeated. Mao wins at some point in like season 3 or 4. What's it called? So then, okay, we do Korea. What else do we do?
I mean, no, look.
Huh?
After Mao wins, now you have the commies in power, right? The Great Leap Forward, all these like crazy shit that happened under their control, Tiananmen Square, all that.
Right. Okay. Crazy shit.
So that's like a whole like season of like maybe like throughout the story, you see this guy, you see this side like in a way better perspective than the KMT at this time because they let Japan do all that shit. So now you see the commies take control, but now they're doing fucked up shit to catch up to the other worlds, the other planets.
Okay. So they're doing fucked up shit to other planets?
No, to their own planet to catch up to the other planets.
Okay. Wow. Well, again, desire to catch up to other planets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Desire to catch up to other planets. Doing fucked up shit. Other.
Well, it was just like industrialization. Anytime you like try to do that super fast,
right?
Right. And it would be just whatever version of industrialization there is for space.
Right. Okay.
Maybe it's like harvesting like some new form of energy, then whatever, something like that.
Right.
Some sci-fi shit.
Right. Okay. So what would the sci-fi shit be again? I was just focusing on this.
Be like a sci-fi version of
what?
Industrialization, right? So this new way of moving things forward, you could think of it as like, I guess maybe like the atomic age, something similar to that, how everything kind of changed in that kind of way. But it didn't go full like the Jeffersons, right? Or the Jetsons, I mean. It didn't go full that. Right. But you could do that now with this story.
Okay. No changing, everything changed. All right. All right, so that. China. changed. So here.
Yeah. And now you can have like the KMT in like a tiny asteroid or like a comet next to China, which is the planet, and it's claiming to be the true, yeah, I'd go moon too. So yeah, you got the KMT in the moon claiming to be the real China or the real.
Okay, so let's see. You said you wanted Vietnam in here, right?
Hmm? Oh yeah. And you could tie the Korea and Vietnam shits together.
Oh, could combine. See, again, that's the fun of doing this is history. Is you get to combine stuff. Combine Vietnam and Korea into one story. Well, and what's your end game so far? What are you thinking?
I mean, is there an end game to the Expanse? You know what I mean? It continues. That's
Well, it's a 9-book series. Yeah, they are building to an end game.
Okay. I don't know. I say just do it as far as you can.
Well, you originally said nuke everything.
Yeah, but that's only if you're forcing me to make an end. And I like even then I said like it's gonna be a shitty ending.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
The ending I liked that I was talking about before was the one where you just set everything up for a new season and then just end it.
Why would you do that?
Why not? That's the truth in storytelling. Right?
But I
like
think
history,
we go to stories to break that though, I think that's why we go to stories.
Why?
Because it's part of the ritual. It's part of we go to a world, we learn something, the story ends, and then we come back home.
Nah, fuck that. Story don't end. You'll just have to make up the rest in your head. Like you got all the info. You see how the patterns worked for all these other stories. You can infer how it's gonna go, but we won't say.
Right. And so, all right.
I think it's avant-garde, bro. I think it's like fuck you. This is how you will tell the story
for new season, and then just end it there.
Yeah.
But like, where's the poetry in that? Where's like, I mean, you can't. I don't know. It's
what's
like,
the poetry is the war machine will always continue. Like even though you don't know what's gonna happen, you still kind of know that there's gonna be devastation. There's gonna be all this shit. There's gonna be people thinking they're the only like correct one.
That's better. But here's the thing: there's a way you can do that where it does serve as ending. What's like, that's the ending. And it's yeah, well, the war machine will always continue. Mao dies, but it's clear another civil war is about to begin, and the circumstances of season 1 looks.
Was there another civil war though? It's not very accurate to how.
But
I guess like the real.
Then why are we setting it in space?
I would make it that this like utopian visionary is becoming more and more of a dystopia. That's like,
which is powerful.
What it is. Yeah, and like you see that happening towards the ending, and I like just cutting it off there because in our China it becomes a like modern day dystopia where the government literally watches your every move and shit. And you kind of see hints of that during Tiananmen Square and shit, but you never really get to see that. So what I mean, that's why I just like cut it off there, because it's like, yo, this probably is gonna get a lot worse. But maybe, like for the hopeful people, they'll, think in their own head of some hopeful shit. This is like done before. People like
Mhm,
leave shits on cliffhangers all the time.
mhm. This interpretation. Character representing the hope that dies to cover up that. It's like China will complete its slide to dystopia. Yeah, that's my idea. If you want to run with that, it's like all right, but the end of the show, it should be a character dies that it's clear, like okay,
I mean, but there's so many characters that would it even matter if,
it
like,
would.
yeah, sure,
If
a
you
character
follow the
dies.
character, yeah. But if you care
Yeah,
about this person, it matters. Absolutely.
yeah, sure. Then you can make it a student in Tiananmen Square.
Well,
Right?
okay.
Maybe you can make that student like his father or like his older brother was like is a diehard, commie revolutionary or something like that,
Yes.
who was like a part of all this revolution and shit, part
Yes.
of the utopia building and stuff.
This could die. And yeah. So, well, guess what? You gave me an ending. Tenement. I know I spelled that wrong. Tenement Square. Um.
Yeah, that could be a good ending. You got this like righteous fucking dude, right? Who finally like went up the ranks in the military. You could see his like progression throughout the series. He started off as like, this random dude who was just gonna, he's just supposed to be there to see the horrors of war. But he finally made it to like, a pretty good position in the army and stuff. He finally sees China going the way it is, but then he gets sent down to deal with these fucking college kids, protesting and shit, blah, blah, blah. Fucking does his orders, and one of the bodies he's walking past is his brother.
Uh,
And like, yeah, the brother is clearly like dressed as a protester, so there's no like subtle.
uh-huh.
Ooh, maybe like, this soldier also saw like, some atrocity done by the other side, and now like he sees it clearly, like, oh, this is happening on my side. Now I'm the one doing it. Maybe he saw like some Japanese like atrocity or something fucked up committed by the KMT.
Hmm. All right, good. Very good. All right. Yeah, I think that's a very there you go. That's a strong ending. Yes, if you want to do a nuke, you can send the massacre to a nuke. If you want, I don't know.
You can do a nuke if you want, but that's more if you want to flash. If you want it to be flashy, you know.
Right.
If you want Daenerys to fucking go into the city with dragons for no reason.
Right. Okay.
So tight.
But yeah, did Mao and the nearest do have a similar arc, weirdly enough.
Yeah. It definitely seems like they were trying to make some deep shit like that with her, but they rushed it.
Right. Mao and what? All right. Yeah, well, all right, good. So we have a whole arc actually now.
Easy peasy, bro. I thought you said this writing shit was hard.
Oh my god. I guess China, Cuba. Yeah, I mean, shit, dude. Man, I had my own idea. Well, let's just finish your thing, because okay, what's the history of this planet?
Let's see.
Like, what do you? Because you could play a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, if I guess other planets are other countries, right? So it's in a system of planets.
But how do we get to this system?
You could say that one imperial force, but then it's very similar to the Chinese story itself. But like, okay, one idea is there was one, great human empire, right?
Mm-hmm.
That stretched throughout space, whatever. Each planet has its own personality, whatever. Right. And yeah, all the planets are interconnected. It's just whatever you're close. Oh, okay. Let's go fucking foundation. Some great disaster happened, right? And now the planets can only really communicate with those that are closest to them, right? So if one planet is on the other side of the galaxy, they're not going to be able to talk to them. But if they're close by, they'll interact with each other and shit.
Okay. So I was actually thinking, I mean, that more or less the same idea, but I did like the idea. I was again. So you said the thing with the British before. Here's the funny thing: China has never really been colonized ever. I mean, yeah, you had the British and the Mongols, but their history isn't one of like.
British definitely colonized China. That was 100% colonized.
But it's not okay. Compare that to Africa or South America.
What about it?
Point. It doesn't.
It was the same thing.
It doesn't dominate the history. Yeah, I mean, but
it does dominate the history. The rise of communism came from that colonization.
Yeah.
It's not just it's like their fucking 100 years of like sorrow or whatever. That literally paints their history to this day. And that 100 years of humiliation, that was all colonization.
Again, I just don't know if it compares to South America or Africa.
I think it's a huge
Did China ever get enslaved?
Apart, they did. Yeah, the whole fucking opium war. What do you think that was about?
Right.
Like they were forced to work and shit, and they were forced to be fucking heroin addicts essentially. Look into this shit, dude. There's like a lot. It's like all this this isn't just like some Antifa lefty shit. This is history.
Oh, I'm sure. It's just I don't know. I just don't.
You don't think even today in politics, the 100 years of humiliation brought over and over again.
Right.
That's their greatest shame. That's why they'll do everything they can to be a world power right now.
Right. Yeah, I never knew that. Like, how comparable is it to Cuba then? Because Cuba wasn't a colonized country.
I mean, it's like every country is its own story, right?
Say it
I
again.
mean, Cuba, every country is its own story. Cuba was like used by the imperial forces to make what, sugar plantations and shit?
Yes.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure if it was
No,
like
it's
rum
sugar.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, you're being forced to work on this. I mean, Cuba is different because at first they had to kill off all the natives to do that, right? And then they brought,
Right.
not kill off all of them, but enslave them in a way. So yeah, I mean, this was a long period of time when this kind of shit just happened and people got tired of it. And they don't see it as we're bringing in democracy. This is imperialism.
Right. Yeah, I got, well, So I wanted to do something with the British. So I was thinking, all right, so China, part of China, planet in space.
Yeah, I mean, you could say like, yeah, the fucking old human empire collapsed and China, the China planet got, the raw end of it. They've been getting
I was actually
like,
gonna do it where China, planet in space, got colonized. Then the British went away.
right, because the great empire fell,
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't, because here's the thing. Because at least I saw China as, hold on, speak again.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. China as its own entity for thousands of years.
Sure. And it was.
But that's just different than.
Then it's not the story of modern China, right?
Which is I'm fine with. Yeah, I don't need.
Yeah.
That's not the important part of the story for me.
Right. Like just how the story of Egypt is not the story of modern Egypt. It's a completely different thing right now.
1,000 years of occupation by foreign power that left 200 years ago. So I'm torn between these two. Or at least your version of it.
Well, like you could do them both. You could have this one planet, just like existing on its own as its own powerful, peaceful little planet. And then this alien group, or I guess they're still humans, but from this other planet comes in, colonizes them, kind of like fucks them over, uses them as low class wage labor for thousands of years, leaves them in a worse place than they started, where it's broken up into little warlords that only have loyalty to the old human empire. And now you got these two groups like, yo, we're taking this planet back. We're gonna kill off all these warlords united as one and bring it back to its old glory days, blah, blah, blah. And not the past 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
Or
so
100 years. If you want to make it shorter.
You want that to be part of the story then?
You could do both.
How would you do both again? Just say it one more time.
So the planet itself, right, existed on its own for, hundreds of thousands of years, has its own history, blah, blah, blah. And then the human empire comes in, or like whatever, this great empire comes in and makes it a part of its, vast thing, but and subjugates, this planet for the next 100 years. Let's make it like a shorter amount of time. So yeah, 100 years. But then that empire falls, its ships go away, leaving only like the warlords that the empire left in charge in its place. With nothing to back up these warlords, gives the rise to these two groups.
The empire falls. Country warlords. All right, so we get to the front years. Country turns the warlord. Okay. You picking this as your backstory?
Yeah, like this is what is explained beforehand.
Okay. All right, and I got kind of. All right, so we got. See how many pages this is. 1, 2, 3, 3.5 pages. All right, very cool. I'll try to be a bit more brief because here's how I came across this story. This is very good. I came across the story. I don't even know how. Again, I was just looking in the history, and I was looking for something again like a Game of Thrones type story. I was just reading about, like Rome to me felt kind of that, like Caesar and Augustus and that sort of thing. That felt like like the type of story I like a lot. Where it's I guess it's leaders making giant decisions and you see the consequences of that. That kind of like I don't even know if the like well yeah like Game of it's so hard to not use Game of Thrones as the example, I guess.
Yeah.
Like just large scale
But you see how
intrigue.
like Game of Thrones doesn't really do that, right?
No, I know. Like, because in my own work, I like focusing on people. It's the great man theory of history.
Right.
It's also close to superhero fiction, where you're following one person. Yes, you're following Joseph Campbell. You're following one person and their extraordinary deeds.
Yeah, I don't really care about those anymore.
Why?
It's just I know nothing happens from a person, right?
Right.
Like it's the group. It's like the people who feel the same way. That's like where the real fucking movement is, I guess.
So individuals don't matter. Groups do.
No. Yeah. Because the individuals are just fucking playing up for the group in the end.
Individuals. So yeah, so that's the foundation of disagreement. That's exactly it. Because even the smaller characters, they matter in a way. Whereas your point is that they don't.
My point is the smaller characters are the only ones that matter.
But they can't change shit. They are at the mercy of higher powers that they can't control.
Right. Or like they're in this like, ocean that's moving in its own thing. Yeah.
Control.
And there are things like they can control. Like, am I gonna stay like a part of this or not, like the whole brothers story, you know what I mean? Like in the Tiananmen Square, like they have control, and at the end of the day, like
They choose wrongly.
the point is like all these characters have control over parts like that, but in total they all think they don't have control. They all think, oh, this is just how it goes. But like the whole point of this story is supposed to be like every, like they all have parts to play, and what they do makes up how the big plays happen, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Right. Say that last sentence again.
So basically what I guess what I'm trying to say is like the decisions made by the members, the small like I'm not gonna say everyday decisions, but like you know, for like the grand scheme of things, the small little decisions that these other characters make, in the end matter way more than the decisions the leader makes, because you're like reading this and like also realizing that yeah, this is just one character in this army of other people who are going to probably think the same, you know what I mean? That's like the point, I guess, trying to come across.
So I guess what do you mean by that? This is
The
just
like the individual decisions just that you know the members of the group makes are more important than the you know decisions the leader makes.
matter. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, it's funny. I have the exact opposite view of the world, I guess. I guess I do buy into the Joseph Campbell stuff. That's actually funny enough. Well, yeah. I guess one person can make a difference. Enough said. Yeah, Stan Lee in Spider-Man 3, right?
Right, but like both perspectives use that, you know what I mean?
Right, but it's yeah. All right, here's a fundamental. Do you think can someone change the world?
Sure, everyone can change the world.
Right.
One person isn't going to do it, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, can
It's going to
one
be
person?
it's impossible for one person to do it by themselves.
Right. Interesting.
It's a myth.
It's a myth. Interesting. See, what's funny is
See, like Dune kind of plays into this too, where
yes, it
like
does.
the entire story is all about this one guy that's gonna fix everything. But like the whole point is like you realize like, oh yeah, it shouldn't be one person. It's never gonna be
Right.
good when you get that.
Yep. Uh, all right. Yeah, no, it's interesting. All right, one person can change the world. It's a myth. I'm doing it. Doing criticizes this. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I mean, I see that just it's a metaphor. It's supposed to. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I don't mind thinking that one person can change the
Doesn't
world.
it make you feel powerless?
It makes me feel powerful.
Why? You
'Cause
think you're gonna be that one person?
I think
What if-
anyone can be that.
Yeah, and that
That's the
isn't that.
point.
I mean, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not. You don't have to be fucking MLK. You could just do good things based on the decisions you make every day. You don't have to come from a fucking powerful family. You don't need any of that. You just need to know what's right and wrong.
Right. And can't that metaphorically work with a story about one person who changes the world?
No, because
That's
then
what the
all the
metaphor's
power
for.
would have to go into that one person's hand. And it's never like that. Never in history did one person have even the power of an entire country. Truly, not really.
Right.
They need everyone else to participate and agree to that in order to make that happen. That's
Yeah, I
either
disagree
through
with that. I
Phil.
don't know. Yeah.
You don't think so? When was
No.
one time ever where one person had even in North Korea, Kim
Uh-huh.
Jong-un doesn't have total control of everything.
Right.
He still has to make sure that the nobility is treated right because like he's in fear of his life 24/7 that everyone can fucking kill him at any second.
Right.
No one like unless you're talking about the worm god Dune where they literally give one person all the control in the world and they show you just why that's a terrible idea.
Yeah. I don't know how to defend it. I just do. I just think it's true. I don't know.
You don't think that's just like kind of like a nah, never mind.
No, say it.
It's kind of fascistic tendencies, no?
If you choose wrongly, but if you choose right,
When is it right?
I don't know. Martin Luther fucking King. I guess.
Boy, this dude, liberals love fucking
We
using
do.
Martin Luther King. He's a socialist. You know this, right?
That's fine. Yes, good.
Yeah.
That makes it, you know.
So he wants the riots. You understand this,
What's
right?
the what?
He wants riots happening, right?
Right.
He wants. He's fighting against this view of
Which
seeing
is
like one or two people in power. Like
right.
that's his whole thing. That's
Well,
what
it's
he
also
fought for. It's kind of fucked up if you like use him as like a way of just like stopping
FDR.
progress.
FDR.
FDR, what about him? Like what?
The New Deal. Why do you think you have Social
Yeah.
Security?
Why do you know like they hated him for this, right? They thought like he was the worst piece of shit. He want like every politician wanted him out. He still was popular with the US people because everyone's like the only ally he had was the people. And that's why he got elected 3 times,
That
right?
was enough.
That
That's my
yeah,
point. One
that
person can make a difference.
it's not him though. He didn't do shit. He would have been out of the presidency without the support of
I
the
guess
people.
I just because it seems like no one has agency in that worldview.
What?
There's
What
no
do you mean
free
no one
will.
has agency? What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like what? Explain that.
I don't know how to. It's just it seems like in that world where
It's just like, dude.
no one has any power.
Is the civil rights movement just like a couple of fucking people that did like? Is it just oh this chick didn't sit on the fucking back of the bus? This guy made a speech. That's not what it is. It's a mass like it's
Right.
just like things or individual people dealt with for a series long amount of time.
Uh-huh.
It's not just one person, just like Black Lives Matter. It's not just George Floyd or the fucking all the other people that got shot. That's what I mean, right? It's I don't know how you feel like there's no free will in that, where it's like it's mass movements always change history, never individual people.
Yeah, I disagree. I just do. Like,
But like what person by themselves did anything? It's always mass movements. They need to convince other people of
but they convinced them though. That's power.
Then that's not power. That's just knowing how to talk. I can do that. I'm not fucking powerful because of that, you know?
Then did you? Oh, yeah, it just feels weird. It's like
It feel like why?
because
Like
it's like erasing.
wouldn't
It's
it feel
erasing.
worse
It's
just to know
erase. Yeah,
that
I
like
know why. It's
only
erase.
important people can like
No,
only the top of like it's I think
it's erasing individual achievement.
who cares about it? The collective achievement is what's important. It's like I don't give a fuck about what this one dude did. I care about the fucking law that got passed, right? I don't care about which fucking lawyer
Yeah, well,
enacted
that's it.
Roe v. Wade. I don't care about that. I care about fucking that bill being passed and how it affects people
Yeah, well,
going
that's
on. I
it.
care about the statistics.
Yes, it erases individual achievement. That's my problem with it.
Well, what in like I think the real shit that's being erased is the story of the average people just because they didn't get to be fucking famous. You don't hear about the people whose lives got fucked over because the Cross
Right.
Bronx Expressway was being built, right?
Right.
Just
Right.
because they don't have the same fucking revolutionary story as like someone else. It
Right.
doesn't mean what happened to them didn't happen.
Right. Yeah,
Especially in a place like America, where if you have the fucking media, you have the entire story, and everyone will only know your side of the story.
Yeah, I guess that's my issue with it. Then it just erases individual achievement. That's all.
But I feel like it's
well,
no one's
it's also
individual achievement. Like,
well, it's a fundamentally American belief, and I was born here and do like like I
right.
get it. I get why.
You don't think it's like an achievement to get their like rights to vote and shit?
Yeah,
right?
that's an achievement of
like
whoever did that.
but
That's their achievement.
Whoever did that was
That's their
who did
achievement.
that? Who did that? Harriet Tubman, Abraham Lincoln. It wasn't one person. It
That's
was
all of them in a
the
sense, but
entire
yeah,
country. Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
when you just give it up to Abraham Lincoln, then you're erasing actual history. You're erasing actual individual achievements.
Yeah, I don't know. I disagree with that still.
But what are you saying to back up your disagreement?
Nothing. It's just I don't even know what it is. It's just it's a belief
Just
thing.
feels wrong, right?
It just feels fucking wrong. That's all.
Right, but
I can't explain it. It just feels wrong.
Our entire thing is to like question these beliefs, find out why they are the way they are.
That's also my
works,
Christian program
stick to
too.
it.
That's my Christian programming. I just believe it.
What?
Yeah, it's on my belief,
What is?
Yeah, this yeah, I just believe it. I don't,
But like it's obviously something that's important to you, right? So what are you using to back it up? Or you just believe
No,
in
I had this
something?
debate with another friend. Yeah, I just believe it. Yeah.
You need to back up your beliefs,
Not
or
really.
why then
then
fake. What's the difference between you and some ISIS dude?
I guess nothing.
It's kind of wild.
I know. I found that out with arguing with again the Noah person I talk about. It's like, oh wow, a lot of my beliefs ride on faith. Like I just know that's how it works. I didn't know about like a year ago.
I don't know. I can't do that. It's like
it
doesn't make sense. I have to throw it out.
Because it's the Christian thing. It's like I just believe in God. I'm an atheist, but I'm just saying that's at the root of so many Christians. That's their defense is, yeah, I just do.
Get that, but
I just feel
there's also like a type of God to believe in, and like why, like I don't know, just following something without questioning always rubs me the wrong way, no matter what it is.
It used to rub me the wrong way, but then I realized again, like, oh wow, a lot of my core beliefs, I can't tell you why I believe them other than I just do. It's
just
Just how
Like
it is.
then like what happens if like, all right, I just believe in fucking killing the Jews. Like, how do you fix someone who has that belief? Like, what do you do?
I have no idea.
Oh, then that's like a real problem in this world where we got anti-vaxxers, dude. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the solution to that
we
problem
got flat earthers. Like it
is. Right.
just
Right.
continues it on.
Oh, say the last part again.
You got flat earthers.
Yeah, flat earthers. What I heard that part.
It just continues the fucking chaos. Like
Right.
that's what's yeah.
Hmm. I don't know, man. I
Like
had
that's the I mean like kind of in the same thing like this entire war thing is about, right?
right,
Everyone thinks that they're the righteous ones.
right,
But the whole point is like no one is. It never plays out like that. It's always different things happening at different times because of all sorts of different circumstances. And you have to sit down, weed it out, and see like the points and the drawbacks for every single one.
hmm,
And we have that. We have like it's not like it's the old days where the only way to get history is textbooks, right? We
right.
have the wealth of knowledge in our fingertips. We could go back, see how things really played out, see different perspectives. Like that's good to do. That's what makes history fun. That's what like turns it from just a movie to like, oh, there's you could just pick one day in history
Yeah,
and write about it for fucking years. You know what I
right,
mean? Like it could be like a 10,000 page book just about a single day. That's what makes it cool.
right. See, I'm just gonna start getting my own ideas down. But yeah, I guess so. I do like the movie version of it. I like the hero's journey thing. I like the idea that again one person can change the world.
Yeah, one person can change the world,
Yeah.
but they'll need people to help them do
And that's
that.
fine, but you can't erase the fact that one person can still change the world.
And like we just had the argument, like I
Well,
don't
it's
think
funny
that's true.
because Obama got you. Okay, so 2012 elections happening. I don't know if you remember this.
Mhm.
It's happening. And he says, if you didn't build that, if you have something awesome, someone helped you get that. And a lot of Republicans hated that. They're like, you're erasing individual achievement by doing that.
Okay, so
I
what the fuck is
I
individual?
never
Like
realized they'd be
who
arguing.
cares, dude? Like
Who
you think
cares?
Steve Jobs did anything really? Right? He bought a company. He was a businessman.
But
That's it.
again,
He
that's
didn't invent
erasing.
anything.
Yeah,
But like
it's erasing a personal achievement.
it's
Yeah,
not erasing a personal achievement because we mythologize his actual achievements. He
yeah.
didn't invent anything new. He didn't like do anything at all. It was his engineers, his
Well,
nerds
again,
did this
it's
shit.
a
Like
fundamentally anti-American belief in a way.
it's anti-American to like see the truth. Like what is that?
Yeah, I mean that's just it. It's
Like
fundamentally goes against the
it
American.
just feels like
Yeah,
we just want the advertisements. We don't want the actual we don't want anything else but the ads. That's it.
right.
Like the basic, most whitewashed, most PG thing. That's all we care about. And that's really sad.
I guess. I just don't want to erase people's achievements. I think Steve Jobs did do
What did he
things.
do?
You did, well, you're. What do you think he
What
did?
did he individually do besides
He's
run a
the
company?
reason. Yeah, no, he's the reason I have this.
People run
I don't even
companies
like
all
him
the
that.
time, but
I don't even like him that much. By the way,
yeah,
I
I get
agree.
it. Oh, what? Like, what did he do? What did
The
him
stuff we
as
have.
Steve Jobs?
Yeah, I'm
But
talking to you on his product. Yeah,
he didn't do that product, right? There
right.
was
And
a
again,
board meeting
that's
with a bunch of people sitting down telling him,
right.
hey, this is what's popular right
Right.
now. what do you think about this? Putting this into that. And
Again,
then
that goes
what
against.
did he do? He just
that goes against.
all right, make sure this happens. What is that? That's
I guess that
and
goes.
like, look, if you want to fucking celebrate something, celebrate the company Apple, right? Celebrate, like,
Again,
all right, you got this team of engineers to do all this shit for you. You got like a team of sales associates to make sure this is one of the most like popular things. Like, come on, dude. Like, I don't know.
I never knew I was that American, but I am. Where it's like, I do believe in individual achievement. Like that matters.
I'm not saying that individual achievement doesn't matter, but when you only see that and not everything else that got them there, then it's not a realistic look.
I never said I didn't see the other little people's achievement.
But you kind of discount it.
How?
By not mentioning it at all, to say that Steve Jobs is the one to do all this when he didn't.
It's mostly true, though. It's mostly true that he's the reason you have this fucking iPhone, and that I have this iPhone and this computer.
Not the reason, right? Like the trends were moving itself. The tech was moving itself. Right. Yeah, I'll give him, like, sure, he talked to the right design people to make sure his shit stands up. Like that's what businessmen do, right? Like, hey, I gotta make sure my shit stands out from the rest. Right. But it's not like he's sitting there in fucking Adobe Illustrator designing this shit. He didn't do any of that.
Right.
He got a bunch of prototypes and he picked the best one.
Right. Again, that goes against all of the programming I've been received since I was like 3 years old. So.
I mean, I received the same thing. Dude, where we grew, like, New York City education. That's all we did.
Yeah, I don't know why I disagree. I can't place it. Like, I just fundamentally disagree with that. Like, Steve Jobs is the reason why. Like, that's a great litmus test. Is Steve Jobs the reason why I have this iPhone and this computer? Yep.
You think Edison invented the light bulb?
Probably. He's why I have this. Yeah, it's stuff like it's
not. He was like.
Yes, he stole stuff. Yeah, but
it's not even that he just stole it. The light bulb was already a thing. This is like the fourth person. He was like the fourth person to make an improvement on it. Well, right. What he did best is he advertised the best, and so we remember his name in the end.
Well, I guess. I don't know.
You think Ben Franklin invented electricity?
I always thought that was a myth.
Right. Like
that's a silly.
It's so much. A lot of it is myth. Most of it is myth making. That's what I'm trying to say. George Washington didn't chop down no cherry tree, right? He was a dude who fucking moved his slaves around so he wouldn't have to pay taxes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's
not that you don't know. That's what happened. That's the history. You can like accept it or you cannot. But to just write over it is erasing history. It's not telling it like how history is. Make like these people into gods instead of just regular people, then it's not. It's
very American.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not American. Every country does this, right?
No, well, because it's other countries actually do get people to we're a group. America is the one
an American thing. Like,
I think it is, dude. I think it is. I
don't think so. Like, because all countries have this shit. Countries have their political figures.
They speak to the power of the individual.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I think other cultures are known to be community-based, whereas here we're individual-based.
Odie, I experienced, I think, a bit more cultures, right? Like,
no, you have.
I got two, like, just from being alive, and then several more.
That's getting a Google search then. All right.
America didn't invent individuality,
but that like it's still a fundamentally American trait that especially how do I even phrase that? Especially individualistic. I mean, it's not they didn't invent it, but it certainly fucking around with it in a way most other countries just didn't. You
It's
know,
been going on since the French Revolution, my dude. Since John Locke and shit.
Well, anyway, no, it's fine. I guess that's why you hate the idea of Mao and Keishi being the main characters.
Right, because it simplifies things too, you know?
I guess. I don't even know what to even put here. I'd have to do more research on this stuff because it's I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I probably have to do more reading, but yeah, I'd be following. Just follow the history as is. Follow those two, the guys. Yeah, and yes, I would end it. Now, victory. See, here's the thing. In this story, people do extraordinary things. They aren't always good, which is the subversion. Because usually in these stories,
Who's good and who's bad in this?
do morally good things always. That's Superman, Jesus, and King Arthur. So
Who's the good guys in this?
there's not, but that's the thing. There aren't, but there's still figures who change the world for some good and some ill. But they're changing it.
How?
I don't know yet. But the fact that I know those guys' names has to mean something.
Guys.
Yeah.
Which guys?
Mao and fucking Keishi.
We didn't know the other guy's name.
Nope.
He was the loser. So
I knew him for I knew him a few years
I
ago.
didn't know this guy's name at all. I don't know his name. I know Ho Chi Minh. I don't know the other guy's name. The dictator reinstalled
In South Vietnam.
Yeah, because again, they're the loser. That's it. Wiped away from history.
Well, I do like following extraordinary figures. I think that's the attraction for me. Attraction for me is following.
Right. So Mao would be the extraordinary figure in this one.
And well, both of them would be.
I don't think K-Shak did anything extraordinary.
He was the opponent of Mao. Absolutely, I think.
Can you let's see his page.
Yeah, he was the leader of that organization.
Yeah, but was he like a charismatic guy? Did he have followers, or is this like a bureaucratic thing,
Right. I mean, does he look
bureaucratic?
bureaucratic?
It's a bureaucratic thing for sure.
Really?
He's look at this guy. He's
a
fucking army general showing off. He got placed in that position. He was already in that position of power. Let's find out. Let's go to the start. Was a member of the KMT. All right. He was born into that to overthrow the Beiyang government. We'll have to look into the Beiyang government. With the help from the Soviets and the Communist Party. So yeah, this guy was pretty much. All right, I want to see where his stance is. Early life. Salt merchants. Okay, so it's not a prominent family. He was educated in Japan. That's a very interesting part of this tale.
Yeah.
Just to expel Manchu. Yeah, this is a military dude. He was in the Japanese military. Wow, yikes.
What was the yikes?
Yeah, the yikes is he was in the Japanese military and then he came trying to rule China right after the Japanese did their shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna, because when we started, I did pick up on, like, I would have followed, collapse of. So I'd be more following. Where is it? The former government literally just collapsed, and the new one. Where is it? And the new one collapses too. Kickstarting the story. I'd have to do. So it's fine. I didn't expect you to actually have so many ideas, which is good because I didn't have to talk a lot.
Yeah, fucking weed, man.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, but I would basically, they'd be my two main characters. Because then you got Mao. Where is he? I mean, there'd be more that I would do. Like, I don't know. You would have let's say, I'd say a cast of 12 that we're following, each with their own story. That sounds pretty good for what again would be a Game of Thrones sides show.
You gotta stop saying Game of Thrones. I think Lord of the Rings
You're
works
right.
more for yours.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Well, it's Game of Thrones if we only ever followed Ned Stark and
right,
the Lannisters,
right,
and just the Lannisters and the Starks.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
but that's just like literally a quarter of the,
it's the most interesting part of the story for me.
Yeah.
I didn't like I didn't like it, but the other stuff never caught my attention really.
The other stuff is like the parts that are interesting.
Right. The full Kickstarter the story. I mean, I think what's cool about the story is it's just cool as is. Mao and Sheikh become rivals. Civil War. Japan invades. They join together. War ends. Back to fighting. Mao wins. Okay, shit. Defeated. Mao builds New China. So I will say I think the thread here is, will Mao's China fix China's problems? Which, yes, that would be a reason why you follow the story after the war is over. Because in hindsight, as I'm thinking more about it now, it would be weird just kind of end right there, and that's it.
Right. Like, flesh it out.
Well, what's funny is we more or less covered what I would have, though. A lot of it anyway. Like the character types, I'd be following them too. It's just you'd be adding in Mao and Mao and Kashyyyk. And
Right.
I'd probably give the lower people a little more agency, but maybe not. I don't know. I think maybe you did give them enough agency. I don't know. Yeah, I think the more I don't know, it does feel weird just ending with Mao winning.
Right. I mean, like Mao's whole thing
Well,
is about the lower people, right?
well, it's not just that. It's literally all right. So what's Mao's? What is Mao fighting for?
I guess like the People's
What's his
Republic,
goal?
right?
But what's his
Yeah.
goal? What's his end goal? What's
A
his dream?
unified China, free from imperialist forces.
Which he kind of gets at the end of
He 100% gets it.
the war.
It's
But he
the
wants to
second
be
biggest economy.
right. But he wants it to be communist.
Right. I mean, like that goes without saying in the first part,
Right, but he
like
can't.
a self-sufficient, unified
Right.
China, free from imperialist forces.
But we don't see that unless we follow the story after the war. It's just the consequences that now you are making Mao the new fucking character, which I know I wouldn't want to do that. I do want an ensemble cast. Yeah, I mean, which I guess I kind of actually, because I had an idea about the Russian Revolution, which again I probably won't ever do, and I would have done it as is too. Like I'd be doing no space shit. You'd just be doing Russian Revolution. That's it. And the ending I gave it was, you end it with the history as is, and you give the little people and middle people. You give endings.
Yeah, but doesn't that feel like that's what they did in Star Wars? You know what I mean? At the second of the new trilogy. And like I hated it in that
What
part.
about?
Remember at the very end where they showed like this poor little boy like
Well, what if you
with
follow the
some
whole poor little
toys?
boy the whole time?
I mean, no matter what, it would just be like, yeah, if you followed the little boy up to the part where he grows up and like, let's say dies in one of those fighter jets or whatever, then all right, it's cool. But it's like, wow, Luke Skywalker, I want to be just like you when I grow up. Like that's
Well,
I
that's an
hate that.
appeal. Yeah, it's not this. This is just. Yeah, how would you get that from this?
That's what it feels like, where it's like,
How?
oh yeah, like a little bit like show the fucking peasants once in a while. Let's see how they react to all
Well,
this.
no, look, I put them right. Where is it? Where the fuck were they? Yeah, look, they're in the cast list.
They're in the cast. Okay, right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
you give their story something. Yeah, they were always in the cast list. It's just yes, you're also getting Mal and him.
Not important in the long
Huh?
run. Never mind. I'm just trying to understand it.
Yeah, you're following. Because to me, cutting out these two would be like, all right, what would Game of Thrones be like without the Starks or the Lannisters?
Game of Thrones doesn't show you the king's perspective. That's the whole
I only
point.
ever watched the Lannisters and
Yeah,
Starks stuff.
like that's the point of the like fucking books.
Yeah.
Like that.
I never
stuff
got
that's
into.
written.
Yeah, I
The
never
show
liked.
is the bad part, bro. The show is like nobody likes the show.
Well,
It's universally hated right now because they just it was like what you said, like, yo, they want an ending so bad, they'll just fucking put one in.
right. Well, yeah, I only ever liked the Lannisters and Starks. I don't think I've ever watched a
I
single
mean,
scene
you're
without.
still
Yeah.
in the Lannisters and the Starks. You're just not Robb Stark. You're not Tywin Lannister. You're not
boring.
the leader. It's not boring. It's literally one of the most like that's what makes the shit like books good. There's no way around that. Like
all right. That's where it gets like, all right, if I want. Look, if I'm going to the land of dragons, give me Robb Stark. I don't want to. If I want to watch something small, I have Moonlight. I have
Robb
Wild
Stark
Strawberries. Yeah,
is literally not. Even in the show, he wasn't shown that much. You know.
Yeah, I watched.
Yeah.
I watched the Lannister stuff. Yeah,
Dude, Tywin
I don't know.
Lannister isn't the leader. Like he has no. like, I mean, not Tywin. Jaime Lannister has no power in the Lannister family, right? So that's why he gets a POV perspective, right? Sansa Stark gets a POV.
Yeah, Tywin
Catelyn,
Lannister is the most.
Tywin doesn't because
He's the most interesting character to me. I'd love to
and
follow him.
that's what makes it a good story too, because you don't know his thought process. You just see this leader
Yeah, I think
saying
that's
shit
lame.
and making moves.
I don't like that. I want Tywin Lannister. I want to watch Charles Dance beat Tywin Lannister.
Well, just read the. First of all, bitch, read the fucking books before you make any opinions about any. You didn't watch the show or the movies, and you're just saying opinions about it.
I watched enough. I watched the clips of it to know
You
like if
watched
I'm
clips
watching,
of it.
if I'm gonna watch a show, it's for these characters. Yeah, which is fair.
Tell me what the show is about, real quick.
It's about these 4 families vying for control of the
What
fucking
for?
thing.
What
The
for?
Iron Throne.
Again, this is the 7
Starks,
kingdoms we're talking
Lannisters,
about.
Baratheons, and what's the fucking other house? There's 4.
There's multiple other houses.
I know, but the 4 on the fucking logo. It's Baratheon, Martell.
You're thinking of the Targaryens.
Thank you.
Daenerys.
That's why I forgot.
Right.
Yeah,
you even
their
said
story.
it.
Yeah.
You even said it right now when you said Martell. Then you got the fucking
you got
Tyrells. You got the fucking
Ramsay Snow.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. At one point, the Starks aren't in power anymore, and now the Snows are in power. So what then? Like, that's what makes this, like, it's a world that's happening. That's what makes it interesting. It's not the 2 families. That's not the interesting part.
That's actually what got. If there was ever something that would convince me to watch it, it was finding out. Oh, it's like this Romeo and Juliet triangle between these 4 families. That's why I would have watched it.
It's not that at all. It's like a Romeo Juliet triangle with like 7 families and sellswords and revolutionaries and
I think actually that might be exactly why I never got into it. It's because it never felt the story of one person. That actually might be exactly why I never did, because it's like, what am I following here? Right. Like Breaking Bad, you follow Walter White. Tony Soprano, you follow Tony Soprano. Even The Wire, I mean, it's a big show, but there's still like, it's still somewhat contained. It isn't, because contained is good, because you're following someone's emotional journey and you're focusing just on them. Like, there's a power to that.
I'm over it.
Oh, but it's just like, that's always why I could never be convinced that, because again, it's been a pop culture icon for years. I just never got into it. It's like, I wonder, like, why wouldn't I get into it? And it's like, oh, because it's not doing that thing I like, where you're following a person and their story.
That's literally what killed the show. It went from one of the most highly rated shows in TV to one of the most hated, because that's the direction they went.
So why do the other shows work? Why does Breaking Bad and Sopranos work?
Because they didn't do the other shit from the start. It was always just one family they followed. If there was just one family they followed in Game of Thrones, it never would have got picked up from the start.
That's true.
That's 100% true. That's why the book got popular, right? Like,
I don't know. Is that objective? Is that why everyone liked that book?
It's objective. Like, you saw the reaction change from when it was a wide world focusing on multiple families to when it just focused on, fucking Jon Snow is the hero. Like, that's literally when the show is hated more than any other show in TV's history, right?
I also disagree with that hatred, by the way. I think it's
you didn't watch the fucking show.
I think it's
why are you making these
shows? Who hates a show? Like, who hates content?
When you invest so much into a show and they just fucking make garbage at the end, Hody, shut the fuck up. Who fucking hates? You're the most invested in shows and fucking content.
And
what
I
are you
don't-
talking about?
I don't hate them though. I try
Yo.
not to hate. I can dislike it.
Out
but
of all the come on, you
No, I
get
don't.
emotionally invested in shows. That's literally what
Of
happened.
course,
And
but-
when they shit the bed, you
I
fucking
don't-
talk shit.
I've tried. Yeah, I have actually. I have actively tried. I'm not even kidding. I've actively tried not to do that. After like a few years ago, I stopped doing that. So I don't know if I ever really did either.
You don't say a show is bad ever.
I don't say I hate it. That's a huge word. I hate a show. I hate that show. I hate what they did with that. Hate.
This is such a dumb argument, dude.
I think that whole fanboy culture, I think is really, I don't like it.
It's all fanboy, but like, dude, it'd be
Like-
one thing if it's for fanboy shit, right? It's because they leaned into the fanboy shit that the fucking show was so bad.
I don't know. Anytime, I hate the show now. It's like, all right, why?
It's fine to like say a show is bad after it made fucking bad choices, right?
But to focus on, hey, I hate that fucking show.
Right, whatever.
It's
This is
hated.
literally such a dumb fucking argument.
Not, well, not really, because again, it's impacting how I would write the Chinese Civil War thing. It's a huge argument to make, because it's like, what kind of show am I going to try and make?
What?
The fiction we like and consume and enjoy influences the kind of stuff we want to put out into the world.
Okay.
It's a very important argument to make. What worked
Right.
about Game of Thrones and what didn't.
Yeah, and I'm telling you what did it, and you're just not accepting it. And I'm like, you didn't watch the show or read the books though. That's what's getting to me. Like, and it's not like I could let it go, but you keep using it as an example for the opposite of what it is.
I guess in a certain interpretation of Game of Thrones works for this. Yes,
Fucking
the land.
read the books before you tell me what your interpretation is, because you don't have an interpretation. You don't know like most of the story, dude. Right? It's like if I didn't watch Star Wars and you did, and I'm just like telling you like this is my interpretation of it, like
It's fiction.
you would understand, right?
It's all made
Why-
up anyway. It's true.
It's no fucking.
That is a direct quote from a Star Wars executive, by the way. He said that. It's like, I don't get why people, it's all made up anyway.
Yeah,
Huh?
you're a fucking writer, you piece of shit. It's not just made up anyway.
It
Like,
is.
This is, you understand that it's not just like fucking stories and shit. Why am I having this convo with you?
Because it's, as the writer, I more than anyone know it's all fake anyway. And that's the point. It's interpretation. It's just what you, yeah. It's not
Everyone knows this. Like, this is just saying dumb, obvious shit.
Look at this. Look, he even says it. He says it very well.
What the fuck are you talking? Yeah, cool. All right. Is Star Wars fiction? I never fucking knew that. Thank you. I'm so glad I got a quote to tell me that this is not a real story. It's not based on true events. And I could choose to accept whatever I want.
Right.
Great.
So
Thank you.
if my favorite part of the Game of Thrones story, even if I haven't watched it in full, is the
Then you don't
Lannister-
know the story then. You don't
guess
know
I
any of
don't.
the story. No.
Isn't that gatekeeping to some degree? How
It
is that
was
any
the
different?
gatekeeping to say, yo, you can't watch the fucking, like, if you only watch the fucking show and I made fun of you for not watching,
Yeah.
like, reading the books, that would be gatekeeping. But you
I've
didn't do
watched
anything.
I've
You
watched
didn't-
I've
you
watched
watched
enough
fucking
seasons.
clips.
Yeah.
You watch, that's not, it's like every episode is what, 2 hours? And you watched a fucking 1 minute, 30-second clip? Like, what are you supposed to
That's the
tell
only
me?
I've ever watched. This is so 30. That's all I've seen of Game of Thrones.
Cody, you see where this you see the point I'm making though,
I've
right?
seen about like an hour of the show probably.
Okay.
Like, I
And
followed the final season through the fucking Wikipedia. I was like, okay, this is, I know
really?
the story.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you tell me Robert's Rebellion? What is that?
Yes, when Robert
Go ahead.
fucking was overthrown 15 years ago by
Robert was overthrown?
my bad, reverse it. The fucking Mad King was overthrown by Robert. He's killed by Jaime. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, what were the houses fighting on what
Lannisters,
side?
Lannisters, Starks were together.
Really? Yeah.
Martell.
Lannisters and Starks from the start?
No, it was a union. It was like a little fucking.
When did the Lannisters come into play?
I have no idea.
You don't, right?
I
But
guess
that's a
I don't.
huge part of their story because they came in to the war at the last second to kill the
Yes.
king, right?
Yes. That I remember now. Yeah. I went through this stuff and it's the most I ever engaged in Game of Thrones was early July, like 4th of July, and I was reading about this stuff and watching clips of it. Yeah.
Right. I think I don't want to recommend the show because it is really bad, but I don't think you would watch. I mean, read the books. But give it a go. It's honestly not bad in terms of
It's 70 hours of content. Don't we have aren't there other things to watch?
What?
It's what is it, like a 70-hour show?
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Yeah,
The books are worse, and it's because the world is built so good that you could have all these characters, right? And it works. That's what keeps people hooked.
The most
I'm thinking about the world. I'm not thinking about the characters. I'm thinking about events that will happen in the world and how the history will happen, what armies will fight what. That's what makes it exciting.
Not the characters, but the world.
Right. Or how the world will affect the characters that we like.
Not the other way around. Because I love fiction because it shows how characters affect the world. That's my favorite part of, especially this sort of fiction.
Right.
I mean, love that.
For stories like Game of Thrones, it's both. Both happen simultaneously, and that's the joy of it.
Yeah.
How it's like a back and forth relationship.
Yeah. I can't. I don't like shows for that reason. I don't like that I have to put in 70 hours for to get the story. It's like
you watch too. Fucking boring ass.
I know.
We watched boring ass movies where we literally only spent the majority of the time trying to figure out the plot. What?
Yeah, I just don't like the form all that much, and unless it's Breaking Bad, or The Wire, or The Sopranos. Oh, by the way, when I say watch The Sopranos, I would read the synopsis on Wikipedia and watch clips while I'm eating lunch, and I would eventually, you kind of get a feel of what the story is. Absolutely. And yeah, it's fucking tremendous, both of them.
You didn't watch The Sopranos?
Not in full. I watched every single episode. I got through in a week by doing my method versus taking a month to do it, of watching nothing but The Sopranos. Yeah, I just don't, and I was studying both of them anyway. It wasn't it's hard as a writer to just be a fan of something, you're always trying to pick it apart and you
watched Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that was the first show I watched before I started writing too. That was the last show. It was just, oh, I love this show. Everything after is yeah.
What was the last show you completed?
Altered Carbon, yeah, because I was.
Altered Carbon. That's a weird one.
Yeah, because I didn't really like it. I was like, shit, I could have done other things.
Yeah, I think it left a bad taste. It was
good.
It was good. It was entertaining, but I don't think it was a Breaking Bad type good. You know what I mean?
But I guess I was in the mood for it, and I finished. And yeah, I mean that's the last. That was 3 years ago. In full, I watched every single minute of the show.
Watch The Sopranos then. What the fuck is wrong with
I already
you?
did.
You
I
watched
know
all
what,
of it.
more or less. I know exactly. Yeah, I know the whole arc of the fucking show. And yeah, I watched enough. I did watch. I don't know how many minutes of the fucking show, but it's
But like,
probably a lot. Yeah.
aren't you into like figuring out how the fucking camera moves or like how like
Yes.
this scene relates to this?
And you can
Well,
do that while watching. Like, we don't need to watch the whole fucking show for that. You can watch one episode.
like, cause look, I do this too,
Yeah.
right? Before I like watch like a movie I want to see, like I'll watch clips just to get into the mood of it. But then I'll watch the thing.
Right. Yeah, I stopped there. That's right where I stopped. Like, all right, I got it.
You're a
Um,
fucking confusing one, Hody.
well, no, because
I'll
it's the
give you
writing
that. You
thing.
know what?
Yeah,
You're right. All I know is my own perspective, and yours is
it's the
so
right.
different than mine that
Yeah, it's the. Anytime I'm watching a show, it feels like work to some degree.
no, I agree. And which is why I haven't been able to start a new show in a minute, but
All right.
I think I still watch a couple of shows, you know?
No, I've been watching movies mostly. So
Okay. But you watched the entire movie.
yeah, because it's
Okay.
3 hours at
Right.
most,
As
not
opposed to
70 of the one story. Just one. It's the only one. It's only one. Like, really?
what,
Like,
you don't
you?
like that? Like
No.
I like where a story ends and I have to think like until tomorrow, like about all the things that can happen, you know?
I'm
It's just
good.
like
Because I don't like. I guess I'm learning. I don't like plots. Not, oh, what happens next? Like, it's no longer an interesting question for me anymore. What happens next? Like, what do you mean? What happens next?
yeah, what do you mean?
I like the meaning of a story. I love that. I love meaning. What does a story mean? What does this story mean? I love that's my favorite thing. What happens next is like, yeah, I don't. I guess Like, I've never been averse to spoilers ever. I've always been a fan of them.
No,
But
I
yeah,
mean I don't care about spoilers in the same sense. But what happens next is the whole plot, right?
not to me. No.
What does the story mean?
Uh,
But how do you do that in a show?
I don't know. That's why I don't watch them.
But you want to be a show writer.
No, I've more or less. I realize, like, yeah, I don't really know if the
But
world is
most of our
here.
ideas are shows, you know, it's
I
not
switched it.
movies.
I would switch it to books, but you have the same
Okay,
problem.
right.
No, yeah, that's why it's like, shit, is this even for me? I don't know. I think movies are much more where I'm at. Like short fiction,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
plays.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
It's just like every single like idea we had, it's
Well,
like a multi, you know,
yeah.
like I break it down into seasons, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even with like the Bismarck stuff and all that stuff, it's just like
Well,
season
these are
by
the I like I had this idea 2.5 years ago. So I figured, oh, it's fun to break it down in the seasons, but anything more than I don't know. I mean, he didn't say this exactly. It's kind of misquoted, but Orson Welles said, again, it's a wrong quote, but the idea is interesting. So I don't like movies, but I like making them. It's that kind of thing.
okay.
I think that might be what this is. And even I don't know if I get much enjoyment of turning this into like a pilot and like a pitch Bible. It'd be fun for a little, but would it be fun for 6 months? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure it won't.
Um,
This is as far as I go for any of these, you know.
well, what do you mean? Oh,
I
yeah,
just say shit and you type it out, and it's like,
yeah.
all
But
right.
I think that's valuable on its own. I think it's fun. It's fun. I find it fun. Yeah, but that's kind of probably. So I don't know. That's such a huge debate. When do you end the story? Yeah, my gut said, yeah, with the war. The war's over. It's about the war. The war's over. That's where it ends. I don't know. Yeah, I might actually. No, again, it says look at fast. I think I was reading part of this like again 2.5 years ago. But yeah, I guess kind of. I don't know. I might do this on my own and show you later what my own version of the show looks like. Yeah, I don't know. I was more interested in what you would. I think the value is more of like what you thought the show could be. So we have it.
No, I love talking because you always give me a scenario, and I'm just like, yeah, let's see how we could run with this.
And we got it. And here's how I do it. I am very surprised you had this many of your own ideas, which is good, I think.
It's also like, yeah, because it's not like I've been thinking about this like at home and shit,
right?
But it just like naturally, just the stuff I want to see comes down. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, this is what I want to see in a show.
Yeah, I think it's valuable the case, especially because ideally, no, because I mentioned that before. I'm losing interest in being a TV show writer, but you'd be the audience for anything I would have written 2 years ago. So it's like, yeah, what would you want to see?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Again, I'll probably. This is insider talk. But I'll probably. I don't know. Maybe not if I get lazy.
I forgot we were still recording a podcast.
No, it's good. We caught. I don't know how long this will fucking take to turn into a video, but no, because we basically broke down. It ties back into the Pulp Fiction thing. There are like
the two different perspectives, right? This is really cool. Like I actually feel like I'm like learning about new perspectives.
Yeah, man. It's like because you break down why. It's just asking why do I like this type of story?
Yeah.
And why do I like why do I like this kind of story? Why don't I like this kind of story? Because that's the best. That's a very important question to ask if you're starting to write. It's like, well, what kind of stories would I want to write?
Right.
Because what caught my attention 2.5 years ago was Mao and Sheikh, and that battle between the two. It's that rivalry. That's really what caught my attention. I might have actually a few years. I might have actually thought of it as just about those two, and that's it. And the reason I changed it, I think, was because there's something we said about an ensemble cast versus just a rivalry show. But I think I don't know, watching two titans go at it. I think.
Yeah, but this isn't. I just feel like this isn't the story for that.
Maybe.
Like if it was like a boxing story, I feel like
I don't know. Macbeth and Macduff is exactly that. Well, it's not exactly that because Macduff is a bit of a lesser player in it, but
I don't know what Macduff is.
You don't know what Macduff? It's the guy who kills Macbeth.
Oh, I don't know what Macbeth is. This is when you were talking about Game of Thrones. This is how it felt like. All right, but I'll say that I didn't watch this shit. I just saw the fucking like quotes once in a while. You know what I mean? I read the Wikipedia article. But I don't remember this story.
Yeah, but Macduff. It's a rivalry story.
But I did actually read Midsummer's Night Dream. So I could
full.
Yeah, not in full. I read like a modernized version of it so I could understand
it's Shakespeare what is it? Shakespeare No Fear?
I think so, yeah. But that one, I read the whole thing, so I know, like, even to this day, I can tell you, like, what happened in the story and shit.
Right. Yeah. You said you audiobooked it, or you did read the?
No, I did the Shakespeare No Fear thing.
Yeah. I heard audiobook. It's 3 a.m. here.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Audiobooks, don't sleep on them, bro.
I'm audiobooking a fantasy novel right now. So
Which one?
N.K. Jemison's The City of what the hell is it?
Sand.
No.
It piqued my interest in anything with cities.
No, it's about New York actually. It's an urban fantasy. The City We Became.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's an urban
I like
fantasy.
that title. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically each borough has an avatar that represents what that borough is, and they have to combine to become the avatar of New York City.
What are the avatars for each borough?
It's 5 different characters. Like Staten Island is like this girl who's the daughter of a cop.
Oh, okay. I thought they had like animal fucking houses. And
It's
stuff.
more, yeah, it's more representing what that borough is about. So I forget.
I see.
Yeah, but that's what I'm already looking now. But yeah, that's how so yeah, it's just about, I would want to see a rivalry story. I want to see Mao and that Titanic personality against Sheikh and that Titanic personality, and then
See, and like the thing is, I know I was like kind of adamant against like having Mao and like the other dude in there, but you could totally have that.
Well, it's the focus is how much.
The focus is how much exactly, and like I liked how in Narcos and shit, Pablo Escobar was still like the main guy, right? He was still like but the story didn't evolve just around him. There was all these other things, like all these other characters who some of them just die. And like that's also what I like about the multiple POVs, that you could just kill them off without it being like a huge investment. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So you're saying the multi POVs let you kill off characters?
It lets you kill off characters with like still allowing the story to continue.
That's interesting, yeah. Because I wanted to do that with this, with China.
So like every character has that feeling of like, oh, they're not going to die because they're the main character. That's never there, at least in the books. Like it's up for grabs for anyone, and that's what makes it exciting.
Right. All right. Well, fucking I guess that's a place to end then. Again, I'll probably, I don't know. I gotta see, because I know I had another some idea what actually about Ho Chi Minh. Same type of genre, same sort of story, and yes, they would feature him as like your Jesus, Joseph Campbell, King Arthur archetype. But that's another story for another fucking day.
I could see that one working way more.
Because it's not
than
about
Iran
this is about China. It's not about Ho Chi Minh. Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense. Absolutely.
Because he had that kind of. Actually, yeah. Well, we'll get into this whenever.
Yeah, it's another story, but yeah, I think it's worth talking about. There's a fundamental difference between the two. Well, there you have it, folks. This is end of part 2.
I feel like I've been getting really heated in these. We're all friends. I just want to make sure. Yeah. Hody and Raj are like some of my closest friends. That's why we can have these talks.
Yeah, it's good to get. It's like, again, this stuff matters. So I'm glad, it does inspire some sort of passion. And again, I think you learn a lot. Like, I'm sure you never knew that. Oh wow, Paul's like a pseudo Christian.
Nah, I mean, like, I don't make like just those kind of assumptions.
No, but it's
good to see like core values. Like, what are they?
Yeah, I just believe in certain stuff, and that's kind of it. I didn't know that until a few months ago, because again, I was in a debate about like certain values I have. And it's like shit. I don't know why I believe in that. I just do. And again, those beliefs inform what you write about, what you're interested in storytelling, for sure. So that's why it's important to talk, because I'm sure someone will listen to go, why are they talking about this for an hour? And it's like, well, because it's the most important thing to talk about with writing. Because like, why are you writing if not to express your view in the world? So it's probably good to figure out what we believe in before we figure out what the fuck we're going to write about, if we want to go down that rabbit hole. Because I'm going to title because what is this show? It's the
Sheikh and hoodies, tight little rabbit holes. All right.
That big, like a little asshole, just boop, 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 boop. Anyway, all right, that's enough from me. I'm Paul. This is Sheik.
Take care.
Peace out, guys. Till next time. Have a good day or night. Peace.